Flash flooding has left a lot of damage across Powell County. Coming up, we'll take you to one family's home. It's pretty difficult for them to even get over their driveway.
He's with Jesus up in heaven. I think it kind of helps a little bit.
Classmates mourn the death of a teenager killed in a boat accident on the 4th of July. How he's being remembered.
This medical office manager and her husband scammed insurance companies out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why you need to know how she did it coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good afternoon to you. Floodwaters have gone down, but the damage it caused is still lingering. In Powell County, one family says they can't even get to the road from their driveway.
Water from Black Creek spilled onto their property, washing out their driveway. Mike Linden shows us how the family is trying to get around now in our top story at 5:30.
I mowed this Monday with a lawnmower.
Wallace Reed has lived along Black Creek in Powell County for 35 years. After heavy rain late Thursday night, Reed says his wife heard a strange sound early Friday morning.
She woke me up and she said the water is coming over the bridge.
Reed says once the floodwater dropped down, he saw the damage. His driveway on both sides was washed out. He says flash flooding wasn't even on his mind when he went to sleep Thursday night.
It wasn't raining when I went to sleep. We got 4 6/10 inches of rain in probably an hour or so.
Until their driveway is repaired, Reed and his wife have to take quite a detour to even get off of their property. Normally it takes about 30 seconds to get to the main road going over the driveway, but until it's repaired, they have to take this county road attached to their driveway, which takes about 15 minutes.
Normally in July, I can step across the creek here. Right now, this is the river backing up.
Until he hears back from the county, Reed is looking for a temporary fix.
I would like to see it declared a disaster area, you know, maybe help get some money to pay for this because this is going to be expensive to fix.
In Powell County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Now, Reed says that Black Creek has come up 3 times in the 35 years he's lived along it, but this is the first time his driveway was damaged from the flooding. Church members in Johnson County cleaning up after floodwaters seeped in over the weekend. Members say about 3 inches of water made its way into the sanctuary at the Baker Branch Free Will Baptist Church. Today, they were tearing out the carpet damaged by all the water.
I was just kind of in shock at the amount of water. We've seen minor floodwaters here before, but nothing like what we had last night.
The parking lot was also damaged by the water. Church members tell us that for now, services will be held in the annex building, which is next to the church. Rain held off for most of today, which was really nice. Feel a little bit more like summer out there.
Yeah, but rounds of showers and storms are back on the way. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking wet weather for us.
Yeah, basically we were just going to queue up last week's forecast and play it again over the next several days, and that's not a good thing. You were looking at a lot of the waterlogged parts of eastern Kentucky where severe flash flooding was noted last night into early this morning, and I would imagine before the week is over, we'll see some more flash flooding into parts of the area. Right now across Kentucky, it's not bad at all. Let's soak it up. Temperatures are cooler than normal, though the humidity is much higher than normal. 84 at Frankfort, Richmond, and Lexington. Corbin, cooler at 81 degrees. Defender with nothing across eastern Kentucky, central Kentucky on the dry side as well. But look what's going on into western parts of Kentucky. A little scattered shower and thunderstorm action now beginning to pop up, so we just can't get a completely dry bluegrass state out there today. And tomorrow the showers and storms will really begin to increase, courtesy of what's going on from the Chicagoland area back to the southwest toward Kansas City. A line of severe thunderstorms there is about 500 miles away from downtown Lexington. That will make up a whole lot of real estate over the next 24 hours and should be right on top of the region tomorrow afternoon into the evening. So guys, weather headlines, storms are going to increase, and we are watching that heavy rain threat once again. We'll break it down in greater detail coming up here in a little under 10 minutes from now.
We are tracking a developing story out of Louisville right now. Firefighters are on the scene of a fire in downtown Louisville. It is on the 100 block of West Main Street along Whiskey Row. A Louisville TV station is reporting that no one was inside that building, and so far no injuries have been reported. The holiday weekend took a tragic turn on the Ohio River when a boat capsized. Tonight, search crews are still trying to find 3 people. Investigators say 9 people were watching July 4th fireworks when the pontoon boat hit a barge Saturday night and then capsized. 4 people survived and 2 died, including a teen from Louisville. Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk for us with how that teen is being remembered. Jennifer?
Amber, the 2 killed have been identified as 52-year-old Donald Swinney and 14-year-old Mark Swinney Jr. Investigators now say swift currents might have caused the boat to crash into a barge at a construction zone for a downtown crossing bridge. Mark Swinney had recently graduated from Barrett Middle School, where he played football. His classmates can't believe he's gone.
Usually big guys like that, you think they're, but he's a soft guy, you know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know. It's just hard to imagine that he's gone.
He kind of bragged about being real strong, so I said, "Really, you are?" He says, "Yeah." He said, "Come here." So he came and he picked me up, threw me up in the air, and he almost dropped me, but he caught me. And everyone started laughing real hard.
Crews are still looking for Darnell Swinney, his 10-year-old daughter, and his girlfriend. The fire chief says it could take days to find them because there's so much debris in the river and the current is too strong to use divers. He also says the boat was not in a restricted area at the time, and the 4 people rescued included 3 children wearing life jackets. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Jennifer, thank you. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is overseeing the construction project where the boat capsized. It's working with authorities to investigate the incident.
A man has been arrested after undercover deputies caught him selling marijuana. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Franklin County. Deputies say a woman called saying her grandson bought marijuana at a store. Officers tell us they went undercover and set up a buy, and that's when they caught the man, they say, at the store and arrested him. Deputies also found drug paraphernalia that was being sold at the store.
It's not to clean sinks or dishes. That's not for the rose that's in it. It's to smoke crack. It's not about the little stuff. It's about the big stuff. And the issue is they have been selling drugs to a 15-year-old child out of that store. That's what it's about.
And deputies also searched the man's home, and they say they found marijuana. In Nelson County, Bardstown police are looking for a woman who's been missing since last week. Police say that 35-year-old Crystal Rogers was last seen on Friday by her boyfriend. Officers say that family members later found her car near mile marker 14 on the Bluegrass Parkway. She's described as 5'9", weighing 150 pounds. And this afternoon, police said that they have no reason to suspect foul play other than the circumstances. In Laurel County, state police have arrested a man accused of hitting a police cruiser with a semi. Troopers say that 33-year-old Richard Wyatt slammed the semi he was driving into the back of a cruiser at a red light on Kentucky 192 in London. Troopers tell us that Wyatt hit the cruiser a second time and then drove away from the scene. Wyatt was already in custody at the detention center on unrelated charges. He faces assault, criminal mischief, and leaving the scene of an accident charges in connection to the crash.
Well, the temperatures aren't the only thing that go up this time of year. Police say crimes of opportunity tend to spike in the summer. 3-car break-ins have been reported in Georgetown over the last week. Rebecca Smith is talking to concerned neighbors in a story that's new at 5:30.
This has really been shocking to us.
In between walks, Ann Aldridge is talking to her neighbors about the latest car break-ins in the neighborhood.
We're talking about it quite a bit, not just on the emails, but amongst ourselves, and say, did you see someone strange in the neighborhood?
Police are looking for the people seen in this grainy surveillance video. In one case, they went through an unlocked car and stole the owner's garage door opener.
The Cherry Blossom neighborhood in Georgetown may be one of the last places you would expect thieves to target, but unlocked car doors meant the perfect crime of opportunity.
Lock your cars, especially since they have garage door openers in them. Please do not leave your keys in the car.
Georgetown Police Captain Ron Swanigan has some advice.
That is the last thing I do before I go up the stairs. I grab my keys and I hit the lock button. And it's just an easy way to remind you to get in that routine. I mean, it is very easy to leave them unlocked, though.
As for neighbors like Ann,
we're hoping it doesn't happen anymore.
In Georgetown, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
If you have any information on who could be responsible, you're asked to contact Georgetown Police.
Did you know that your medical insurance card information is as valuable to con artists as your Social Security number? As the story we're about to tell you illustrates, it can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and here's why. Melinda Robinson Taylor, an office manager at a dentist's office, knew the healthcare billing system well. So well, she orchestrated a false billing scheme using insurance information from several people.
She recruited them from churches, outdoor events in the community, and just asked them for their private information, Social Security number, date of birth, and their insurance card, and just asked them if they want to make some money.
At one point, one of the insurance companies targeted became suspicious.
She submitted the fraudulent claims. The people never went to the dentist office, and the insurance company contacted the dentist, who said, "These people are not patients of mine. I don't know what you're talking about."
Robinson Taylor, along with her husband Reginald Robinson Taylor, recruited 22 people and scammed insurers out of more than $360,000. Postal inspectors say the people involved in the scheme were just interested in the money.
They didn't really think they were hurting anybody, so they got checks in the mail, they cashed them, and gave the office manager 50% of the proceeds.
Melinda Taylor Robinson was sentenced to more than 4 years in prison. Her husband, almost 2 years. The takeaway: never give your personal insurance information to anyone.
Most medical providers now don't require it because they have the insurance number off your card that identifies you as the person who's receiving treatment.
Inspectors also advise consumers to closely examine their explanation of benefit statements and compare the dates and services to their actual medical and dental appointments. Healthcare fraud, by the way, costs American taxpayers more than $80 billion a year. That's according to federal officials.
Candidates for governor in Kentucky took advantage of the holiday weekend by talking to voters.
And Kentucky's governor says lawmakers are talking with historians and hope to have a decision about the Jefferson Davis statue soon. Bill Bryant has details on the bottom line.
Good evening. The candidates for governor tried to take full advantage of those 4th of July crowds that were out and about over the weekend. Republican nominee Matt Bevin and Democrat Jack Conway were both in Lexington for the Independence Day parade, working the crowd along the route on Main Street. Senator Mitch McConnell and Bevin met while both of them were in Campbellsville to talk strategy about the fall race ahead. McConnell told us during this weekend's edition of Kentucky Newsmakers that he will work for Bevin's election despite the fact that Bevin challenged him in last year's Republican primary. That full interview is available on demand at KentuckyNewsmakers.com. They started debating the future of the Confederate flag, which has flown over the South Carolina state capitol for more than 50 years today. It came into focus after the deadly shootings at a historic black church in Charleston last month. In Kentucky, the debate is continuing about whether the statue of Kentucky-born Confederate President Jefferson Davis belongs in the state capitol rotunda. Governor Steve Beshear told reporters today the question is being fully addressed.
It's my understanding that the historic commission that is in charge of monuments in the Capitol and in the old governor's mansion and the new governor's mansion will be meeting in about a month to discuss that again. They have been seeking public input, and they're talking with historians to try to make some decision on what to do, and I think probably within a month they'll be there.
Beshear was in Lexington to give an Economic Development Award to the Xerox company. Hundreds of engineers in the state transportation cabinet are getting hefty raises in an attempt to keep them from leaving. The Herald Leader reported today that the average pay hike is about 20%. The raises started in mid-June and are costing the state almost $8 million in the effort to stop high turnover. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
The CEO of Aetna says his company's purchase of Humana will not result in major job losses. In fact, he says it might increase the number of jobs in Louisville.
It comes after Friday's announcement that Aetna is buying Humana for $37 million. If approved by regulators, Aetna would become the second largest managed care company. On Friday, Aetna said it will make Louisville the headquarters for Medicare, Medicaid, and TRICARE businesses.